John Elway is, of course, general manager of the Denver Broncos, was a legendary quarterback for them, and is fairly well-known Republican. He donated a lot of money to the Republican Party. Chris Wallace from Fox News wound up talking to him about that, and he had some interesting things to say.
Why do you support the GOP?
Well, I mean, those are what my beliefs are. I believe that, as a country that, we're given the opportunity to succeed or not succeed. And I think that, for us to be able to, I don't believe in safety nets. Obviously, we got to have some kind of safety nets, but I think that my philosophy is when you're given the opportunity to go take advantage of that. And I think that that's when you get the best out of people. And so my beliefs align best with the GOP. I wouldn't say I'm way right. I'm middle right. I been fortunate to be in business, and I'm one of those that believe that, you got to give a little to get some. And so I'd like to see us be able to free up Congress a little bit and say, okay, we need to give up a little bit to give a little bit. And if we were able to do that and we acted more like businessmen in that situation, I believe that we'd be getting a lot more done.
All right, so let's talk about the part I agree with first, which was the ending where he talked about how he's middle right, and he said, look, in business you have to compromise. Sometimes you can't get everything that you want. So in Congress they should do the same thing. You give up a little bit to get back. So good, that's positive. Now let's talk about the parts I don't agree with. He says, look, I'm not a believer in the social safety net, although you got to have it. Wait, which one is it? You believe in it or you don't believe in it? Do you think it's too much? What do you mean by that comment? Now, I'll tell you what he means by it. He means that social safety net goes to the poor, and I'm not poor, I'm rich. So I don't really like it. But if I told you the parts that I don't like, it'll seem really ugly. And that's the reality, but I don't want to admit that. So I want to talk about how, I believe in opportunity and you should take advantage of that, when in reality, I just want to help. I want to cut help to the poor and to the middle class. But I don't want to say it out loud because then people will hate me. Okay. Now, the most important part of this, though, is that he said that he was against the social safety net overall. Interesting. Really? And the answer to that is no, not really. Now, let me show you some interesting numbers that shows you how John Elway is among the people who benefit the most from the social safety net. First of all, great story from Bloomberg News about how we all, as taxpayers, subsidize the professional stadiums around the country. They did an analysis on this, not just football, all the professional stadiums. One of the ways that we subsidize it is they get a tax break on municipal bonds that are used to finance a stadium. Now, it seems like an obscure issue, so it doesn't really stick out to a lot of people. Oh, well, they're not paying taxes on that, but it's a municipal bond. No, it's actually a huge break, as Bloomberg explains. It comes out to the equivalent of $146 million a year subsidy for professional football teams and other teams that are already incredibly profitable. Why would we give them that? I mean, you don't need a social safety net, John Elway, do you? Well, so why don't you go ahead and give that back to us, to the taxpayers? I mean, all you need is an opportunity, right? By the way, you know who agrees with that? Progressives. We don't believe in equality of results. We believe in equality of opportunity. That's why sometimes you need to give people a hand up so that they can get up and take care of themselves. Now, do you think we have to give the Denver Broncos a hand up? Well, after that Super Bowl, maybe we do. Okay. But in terms of profits, hell no. Do you know how much it costs us? Now, I know there's a big period of time, but the Bloomberg analysis showed between 1986 and 2047, it cost taxpayers across the country $4 billion for that loophole that is to the benefit of those professional teams that already make a ton of money. $4 billion. Okay, if that wasn't clear enough, that's not the only subsidy they get. The Hill recently reported that they also, of course, the NFL, not the teams, but the NFL itself, is tax exempt. It's nonprofit. Now, we all know that, right? NHL and NFL are tax exempt. In reality, NBA is not, and Major League Baseball gave up their tax exempt status recently too. So it doesn't have to be that way. They just get a special break. And credit to Republicans in this case. Some honest Republicans, Jason Chaffetz, Tom Coburn, in this case, actually want to take away this subsidy. So good for them. I like that. But Elway saying, I'm a Republican. I don't like these kind of social safety nets. Now, how much money does the NFL make? They make $9 billion a year, and they don't pay any taxes on that. That's outside of the teams. The teams make more, and they pay taxes on whatever they get. But the league, I mean, they pay Roger Goodell $30 million a year. He's the commissioner. But no, we're a nonprofit. Don't tax us. You know how much that costs the taxpayers? $109 million in tax revenue over 10 years. And so there's another $109 million out of our pocket. What happened, John Elway? I thought you didn't like the social safety net. I thought you didn't need that. I thought you could do it on your own. What happened, tough guy? The reality is, now again, Chaffetz and Coburn are the exception. But Republicans in general, and oftentimes far too many Democrats, love these deals. They love it when it goes to the rich. They love it when it goes to corporations. They don't like it when it goes to the poor, the middle class who might actually need it. But I'm not done with John Elway yet. Save the best for last. Turns out, Broncos, in order to build their stadium, also got a giant subsidy. Let me explain. From 1990 to 2012, district residents paid the Metropolitan Football Stadium District, FD, tax of 10 cents on every $100 spent to cover around 75% of the $400,800,000 costs to construct the new Sports Authority field at Mile High. Do some quick math on that. That's $300 million out of taxpayers' pockets from just that area to build John Elway his stadium that he makes enormous profit off of. By the way, they also call it Sports Authority Field. They make more money on that. They make money on the ticket sales. They make money on the TV rights. They make money on merchandising. They make money on everything, and we foot the bill. I thought you didn't like the social safety net, John. What happened? The reality is he doesn't want to get into the details because he loves it when it's for rich people like himself. He hates it when it's for people who actually need it. Well, those bums, don't give it to them. Give us to us bums. Give it to us. That's what John Elway's saying. John, are you going to run for office? Let's find out.
I got to assume that the GOP has come to you at some points and said, hey, how about running for office?
Yeah, I have been approached a couple times, but I'd rather be on the supportive side than the guy that's running. But I also believe it's my duty to be involved too. So politics is a tough business. Football is a tough business, but I'm not sure it's as tough as politics. And so I'll stay on the outside of that.
Yeah, it's a tough business because people like us point out what a giant hypocrite you are, right? And he says, no, I'd rather be on the supportive side. Yeah, I wonder why. Because you support them with a couple of, I don't know how much he gives in political donations, but it's a decent amount. That's why he's in the news for often given to the Republican Party. So you give him a little bit, and in return, your team, let alone all the other subsidies we explained, your team specifically, gets about $300 million in return. Gee, I wonder why you're being supportive of those politicians. This is crony capitalism 101. They're robbing us blind and spitting in our eye while they do it. John Elway, don't give me your bullshit. You'll love the social safety net when it's for your sorry ass.